sure.
Like, they were talking about his shoulder not even allowing him to play this year. And then people like you drag Cam Newton, and then you're going to be mad when he retires like Andrew Luck.
No, I actually wouldn't be mad if he retired because he really has been given no protection, and they've been really
like Andrew Luck.
Yeah, but it's different. He didn't have any receivers, bro, for years. Outside of Steve Smith.
Neither did Andrew Luck. He had Ty Hilton.
He went from Reggie Wayne to T.Y. Hilton. Stop smoking crack.
He got a year of Reggie Wayne.
Doesn't matter. He still got it. And probably could have played Reggie Wayne could have played like 2 more years.
And Cam got a year of Steve Smith.
They traded
him. So that's a wash.
They traded him.
That's a wash.
He played like 3 more years.
Try again. That's a wash.
He played like 3 years.
That's a wash.
What? Steve Smith played like 3 more years after that? No, it's not. They forced him out of Carolina. He could still play.
They forced Reggie Wayne out of Indianapolis. They cut him. He went to New England and he got cut again.
And then he retired. But he could have been protected in that Colts offense. But anyway, UCLA's trash. They're terrible. I don't know what the hell they're doing. Washington State out here taking QBs who were like at JUCOs and are on their last year of eligibility as a redshirt senior, and Anthony Gordon out here looking like a Heisman candidate for Washington State, completing like 80% of his passes, throwing like 17 touchdowns and no picks. It's just crazy. But anyway, all I know is it's the state of the Pac-12 and these California colleges. USC has to either go for Urban Meyer or Antonio Pierce. Simple. Get someone who's the embodiment of what LA is, or you get a guy who knows how to coach football and get the best out of talent. But you can't have both if you hold on to Clay Hilton. It's just not going to work. And I want to see a black coach at USC.
You're going to be so mad when you get Jack Del Rio or Jeff Fisher.
Nah, you know what it's going
to be? You're going to be so mad.
You know who it's going to be, bro?
You're going to be so mad.
I'm actually mad because I know it's going to be. It's going to end up being John Gruden somehow.
No, it'll be Jay after he gets fired from this bad year.
Oh, yeah, it'll definitely be Jay Gruden.
Yeah, it'll be Jay. Yep. We just spoke it into existence.
It'll be an arena football coach.
You heard it here, folks.
An arena football coach is going to be USC's head coach because they will just refuse to hire a black candidate because there's no black coaches out there who can coach. Dino Babers.
All right, so on that note, anything else you want to say about last week before we move on to the upcoming week of football?
Antonio Brown is a shithead and a horrible person. And to quote unquote Corey Holcomb, Antonio Brown's a fuckboy.
He's beyond a fuckboy.
Like, I don't think he's a rapist, but I definitely think he's a corny ass fuckboy.
I don't even think he's a fuckboy because, like, a fuckboy portrays something that's like, you know, borderline like douchebag, but like, you know, young person who's like just walking that line of like just being juvenile and like arrogant and young and like a douchebag. Antonio Brown is a full-on grown-ass man. Like, he's a full-on jerk. Like, he's a full-on asshole.
He's a dickhead.
He's a dickhead. He's not a fuckboy because he's consistently doing this, and he's getting repercussions for it and still consistently doing it.
Because the chick that he's with who was talking all that dirt, there's dirt on her, and she getting exposed now. And it's not looking too hot for her.
I mean, that always happens. That's what always happens.
Yeah, but like straight up, like she was lying about a lot of shit. And then another girl came out, and a bunch of people who he's done like scumbag shit to are coming out saying, "Yeah, he a scumbag."
No, I know. I've been saying that. I've been talking about this. It's the chef. It's a trainer from this past off season. It's the trainer who's saying she was raped. It's this other artist who never got paid. It's his stepdad who kicked him out. It's like a bunch of people just coming out the woodworks and saying, like, yeah, Antonio Brown is
a shit person.
Which all comes back to the Steelers organization, right? Because we were talking about this with the Steelers when that whole bubble kind of burst and everyone was like, yeah, Antonio Brown doesn't even go to practices. He doesn't go to team meetings. He doesn't do this. He doesn't do that. He shows up whenever he wants. And we were all like, well, yeah,
But he's also your best player.
He works, and he's also your best player. So what
he
can
doesn't
you really
need to be
say?
at every meeting. Like,
so
what else you need me to do? You gonna throw me the ball? I'm catching. I'm gonna run.
But we, and not just the media or us or anybody else, but
all the pontificators.
Specifically, Mike Tomlin, and really the community of Pittsburgh Steelers fans, because now there's even rumblings around that they always knew this shit was going on, but they liked him and respected him, and they kept everything under wraps. And it was like even Steelers fans just in the community knew he was this way, but they didn't care because he won them games. And so now you guys created this monster
and mad that he's a monster,
him, and you just unleashed him without letting anybody know what they were dealing with. And it's like, yeah, he's a man, but at the same time, I created this man.
I think people all. I think it's like where everybody said, "Oh, T.O.'s a diva." If we I think Josina Anderson tweeted out like talking to T.O.
AB's even more than a diva.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there because T.O. wasn't really a diva. If we really look back, McNabb was a pedestrian quarterback without him.
Stop calling him pedestrian quarterback, bro.
Oh, really?
Stop.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, stop.
Okay, fine. He was above average. Is that okay?
He was a good quarterback.
He had one great year.
He was a good quarterback.
And it was with T.O. T.O. had like 10 great seasons after McNabb.
He was a good quarterback.
Okay, and what happened after McNabb? What happened after T.O. was forced out of Philly? Did they ever become good again?
What happened before that?
They couldn't get to a Super Bowl.
They went to 4 NFC title games.
Name their starting receivers.
Bro, how many times have we done this? I don't feel like doing this.
But I'm saying T.O. was also an asshole.
Randy Moss. Wait, hold up.
Randy Moss was an asshole.
No, hold on. Let me do a KB right now. Let me do a KB right now, right? You know you can make your point without being an asshole, right? Like, you don't have to like be like, oh, name a receiver. Like, bro, you can still make your point without making it into a trivia contest.
But trivia contests are fun.
For you.
Okay, fair point. Anyway, so you look at the fact T.O. was a producer on the field everywhere he went, even Buffalo. Ugh, we're not even going to talk.
They're really tired of you being in the T.O. fan club.
Because T.O. got shitted on and was done wrong. But
T.O. was not done wrong.
T.O.
made plenty of money.
T.O. got done wrong in Dallas.
T.O. got plenty of money. He got plenty of opportunities. He produced.
And still got labeled a cancer.
Got hella money. So what?
No, but that meant something because then he got kept out of the Hall of Fame.
But so what? He's in the Hall of Fame now.
Yeah, but he wasn't first ballot. It's like, and he should have been.
Who cares about
it's like if Jordan got kept out of the Hall of Fame.
No, it's not.
I know it's not.
But it's like,
you get what I'm saying.
Nobody cares, bro. He got into this is the T.O. shit. This is why people don't like T.O. Because it's like, bro, nobody cares. You got the Hall of Fame. You got the numbers. You got the respect of your peers. So what are you crying about, T.O.?
No,
you got opportunities. He didn't get the respect of
his peers when he should have been a first ballot Hall of Fame.
He didn't get blackballed from Kaepernick.
But that's a whole. You're conflating situations. It's two different.
I know. But what I'm saying is
literally a red herring.
Yeah, I know. But what I'm saying is
that's a straw man argument.
The point is, nothing bad really happened to T.O. Yeah, if anything, he was a trailblazer. Like in terms of creating his own brand and in terms of creating his own image and maintaining that, if anything, he was a trailblazer. And being a trailblazer is hard. You're going to get rocks thrown at you.
I agree.
But at the end of the day, like, he really didn't suffer. So it's like, why are we still talking about it, bro? He's in the Hall of Fame. He has a good life. That's it.
Here comes my point. So you have all that with T.O. and Randy Moss, right? Though you could say those were the leaders of the wide receiver diva club, and Chad Johnson was a close third. Would you say so?
Sure.
Because both those two are better than Chad Johnson, but Chad Johnson's still great. And I look at the numbers and the impact that those guys had, and if they existed in this time, they'd be treated differently. I don't think you could take Antonio Brown, put him back in that time period with them, and he would get the sympathy of the media. I think he would just be a huge asshole. Like people, they would like. I think guys like T.O. and them, they'd be like, "We're not like that guy." Like, yeah, we're characters, but we produce. This dude's an asshole and he's selfish. You know what I'm saying? That's why I think. Well, that's why I think that schism of being a diva receiver and a fucking narcissistic, almost sociopath, is birthed. And I think when Antonio Brown first got in the league, yeah, he had that chip on his shoulder, but sometimes that chip, and I saw this from like some meditation app that I was listening to, that sometimes that chip on your shoulder is the thing that's draining all your energy.
Yeah, it's causing the Russell Westbrook effect.
Okay,
we've had that conversation. That's a whole nother.
We're not going to slander Russell Westbrook. That is a
but
whole.
It's a similar effect. It's like
that dude just doesn't know when
you're always trying to prove somebody wrong when there's nobody left to prove wrong, then you're just proving yourself wrong.
You just keep outdoing yourself, and then you're like,
and then you're just outdoing yourself.
Yesterday wasn't good enough. No, you're good enough, bro.
Exactly.
You proved that you were good enough, and he has Hall of Fame numbers. But that's
what I'm talking about with T.O. It's like, bro, you've done it all.
But I think T.O. could still play.
You've done it all.
Like T.O. could still play in this league, just because he's an athletic freak and kept himself in shape. That's the only reason. But he could still play. But he's never going to play. Like Herschel Walker could still play. Monster of a grown man in his 40s, 50s, I think.
And the other thing about T.O. is like, okay,
but T.O. was like how many great receivers in this time?
How many receivers didn't get first ballot?
But T.O. happens all the time. He was top 3 all time.
Curse Carter was top 2. Tim Brown was top 4.
Not when he went in.
And neither of them got first ballot.
Not when he went in, though.
And neither of them got first ballot.
Chris Carter had cocaine issues and shit. And we already know, dog, why do we keep bringing up the Raiders in the Hall of Fame? You know the NFL don't like Raiders. That's why Jim Plunkett still isn't in. Tom Flores still isn't in.
Jack Tatum
still isn't in.
Cliff Branch
still isn't in. And he just died.
R.I.P.
But like, I don't like those guys. Were like
Casper and Otto and Howie Long are in.
All the white ones are in.
And Blitnikov's in.
Blitnikov wasn't even the nicest receiver. I don't know why they named their award after him. I'm sorry, but
because he was nice at Alabama.
I thought he went to Florida State.
I thought he went to Alabama.
He went to Florida State.
No, you're right.
And wore 20.
Ken Stabler went to Alabama.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, bro, name the last Florida State receiver you remember that was nice.
Blitnikov was nice, bro.
I know he was nice.
He was nice,
but he's not the nicest Raider receiver of all time. And by the way, Derek Carr's the all-time passing leader in Raiders history.
Fuck, this is a lot.
And somebody said, like, who made this decision to do this on a Tuesday night? And I died laughing in the comment section because I'm just like, bro, this is a lot. Like, you look
Daryl LaMonica threw and kicked a field goal from his grave at the same time once he heard that. he did that.
He
and
punted it too.
Like,
I'm gonna head out. Bullshit.
He's like, I'm just gonna head out.
This choir boy really has better stats than us, which is weird when you think about it. There's so many greats that have played for the Raiders.
It's just they only play for a certain amount of time, or they play past their prime.
They're iconic, bro. Like, the Raiders really are iconic in that regard. But like, I think if Steven Jackson had the numbers he had played for the Raiders, he'd be a Hall of Famer. But I don't know if he's going to get in the Hall of Fame because of, who'd you replace? Marshall Faulk. Who came after you? Todd Gurley. I mean, so it's like, I look at certain cats with certain stats, and it's interesting. Now I think it's less about what they did in the field and more about narratives. And the narrative with Antonio Brown, closing this all up, I don't see him ever getting in the Hall of Fame, bro. With this much heat and static around him, I don't see it. I think they'll purposely sit him outside the gate for eternity until he dies, and then they put him in afterwards. Or they'll put him in like, the NFL had inflated numbers. He got a lot of targets and catches. They'll do that to him.
This is the rough part about the Hall of Fame. It's kind of like, what's the line of fame? Like,
because it's not the Hall of the GOAT. It's not the Hall of the greatest of all time.
And it's not the Hall of Fame of like really good either. So it's like, what qualifies as the Hall of Fame?
Because it's like, because Anquan Bolden, he a Hall of Famer?
I mean, he should be. He was one of the